There you are, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to The Wrap, the after debate wrap. Republican Vice President Michael Richard Pence took on Democrat Marxist Senator Kamala Devi Harris, and an all-out blustering affair. We have with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Casper Stockham. Casper for Colorado. He's running for U.S. House, Congressional District 7. You can find him at Casper for Colorado or Casper for Colorado if you would duck go it. Want to introduce to some, present to others, not only a military veteran who is willing to sacrifice his retirement to come to Washington, D.C., but certainly a strong family man and a man of great faith in God. Good evening, Casper. It is a tremendous honor and pleasure to have you on the air with us again at TECN TV.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Work on your sound. Okay. We're going to come back to Casper, but I want to let you all know, because what the media is about to do, the mainstream media is about to do, is go on the air and say that Kamala Harris handily defeated the demure Mike Pence. That's exactly the way they're going to go on, that Mike Pence did not score any points, that she was verbose, that she was strident, and quite frankly, there are those who are caught up on her weave-oriented emotional display tonight, which was based on a summation of lie after lie after lie, slander, leftist narrative. You did not hear anything that Joe Biden would do from the mouth of Kamala Harris. And quite frankly, Dave Milner was in the chat room. He says that's a statistical win for Pence. If you're being completely emotional, then it was a draw. And that's what the American people probably are seeing tonight. But the mainstream media will not allow you to walk away with a understanding of what happened tonight. You can count, and I'm taking note here, lie after lie, where she boldly lied and smiled in the face of Americans. One of which is regarding, forgive me, whether they would pack the court. That's a lie. Whether Biden is against China, that's a lie. In addition, there are other issues here, getting into the Paris Accord agreement. Oh, here's another lie, bold-faced lie, that unlike Donald Trump, Joe Biden has been absolutely transparent when it came to fracking, and that he would not end fracking. And she lied again and again. Then she slandered by saying Donald Trump called military personnel and veterans at the gravesite suckers and losers. A man who has literally rebuilt the American military after the demolition, of the Obama administration, where Biden was vice president. And he could have gone as far as the Veterans Administration and veterans hospitals. Donald Trump has rebuilt our military, has taken accountability for what happens at Veterans Administration centers and hospitals. He is a fervent believer in our military. And he's not going to make Marines wear high heels and panties to figure out how women feel. Just not going to do it. Let's see if we have the sound with Casper. Casper, are you with us? Okay, we're having a sound issue. Okay, no worries. Okay, no worries. We'll come back to you. We'll come back to you. There was a question regarding climate change in which she stated you are supposed to believe the scientists. Of course, the hockey stick witchcraft medicine scientists that they pick. However, it was Joe Biden, ladies and gentlemen, who basically stated that it was the scientists who were being suppressed by Donald Trump. Kamala Harris states that the vaccine that is created under the Trump administration, she would not trust those scientists. But wait a minute. Aren't they the same scientists? In many cases, yes. You see, she has politicized the American people's lives. And I'm going to tell you, tonight, Joe Biden fervently knocked her out on several points. That one being one of the big points, that she has politicized the whole concept of science. In addition to that, would she ban abortion? She's pro-choice. It is Mike Pence who came across with a great strength in saying that he supports the sanctity of all life. This was a debate. I don't necessarily think it was one of the great American debates of all time. But clearly, you saw lie after lie. The Charlottesville narrative is constantly perpetuated by the left. And she did it again tonight. And it is a clear lie on Donald Trump that he supports white supremacists. He has vehemently spoken out since he was questioned during the presidential Republican campaign against white supremacy and racism. What I really hope Mike Pence would have done is ask her, as he asked her several questions, including whether they're going to pack the courts. I wish he had asked her, do you still believe that Joe Biden is racist? And if you still believe that Joe Biden is racist, why would you run with him on the VP ticket? It's a question. I think a legitimate question in regards to the debate.
Hello, Ken, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. And we are talking tonight with Casper Stockham. It is a great honor and privilege to have you on the air with us tonight.
Yes, sir. Sorry we had PC, so I connected with my tablet, and it looks like we are live.
We are live. We're doing well. I got to ask you, your thoughts regarding tonight's debate.
Well, I was also monitoring the social media conversations from both sides,
Yes.
and it was fascinating. I'm trying to get this camera right so everybody can see me. I apologize. This is not my normal way to connect, but the yeah, the conversation on both sides was interesting. So Republicans said that Pence knocked it out of the park, and Democrats said that Pence was being rude and interrupting and wasn't, keeping his answers short and to the point. And I believe they were both right, but I do believe he got some really good hits in. But to your point, I wish he would have made a lot more comments about some of the hard-hitting things like Biden's racist past and even Kamala Harris' racist past. I think that would have spiced it up quite a bit.
Exactly. You're running in Colorado. What are the people of Colorado thinking about Biden and thinking about Trump?
So Colorado is a very blue-leaning state. So most people believe that Biden is going to win Colorado. I don't believe that's going to happen. I believe Trump is going to win Colorado because of all the rioting and looting and chaos and mayhem that's going on around our nation. And none of the Democrat politicians are speaking out about it. But I have a challenge with my Republican counterparts because they are also not speaking out about it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a winning message. I think, Pence did mention it tonight. He did talk about the fact that, there's a lot of rioting and looting going on. And he even mentioned something about a black business owner he had in the audience.
Yes.
Who had her shop destroyed. So he mentioned it on stage, which was great. But Republicans need to mention that a lot more.
I want to go to the emotional part that Mike Pence included regarding ISIS. And you are a former Air Forceman. I wanted to get your thoughts regarding him conveying that both Barack Obama and as well Joe Biden, when given the opportunity to act on behalf of an American citizen via the military, chose not to do it at the time. Your thoughts, sir?
Oh, that's 100% correct. And what happened under the Obama administration is that the rules of engagement were so convoluted, the military literally could not even attack someone who was attacking them without getting prior approval. So when Trump took over, it was an easy win for the military once they had the ability to engage. So if somebody was shooting at them, they didn't have to call in to get permission to shoot back. So consequently, go ahead.
I want to ask you here, as a veteran of the military, what were your thoughts when Kamala Harris stated that Donald Trump, in a quote-unquote interview, called the military servicemen in graves suckers and losers? Your thoughts?
Well, I wanted to throw something at my TV, but I know that would just cause harm to my stuff and not somebody else. I mean, it's laughable, but it's sad because that's the message that the mainstream media is portraying. And Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, they just keep repeating the lies, and people just accept it as fact. He has done more for the military and more for the black community than the past 4 presidents combined. So, for them to keep lying about him and saying that he called them losers and suckers, I mean, he will stop his motorcade if he sees a row of military people or police or whatever. He'll stop his motorcade and get out and shake all their hands.
Yes.
So that's not someone that doesn't have respect for the military. And you remember the one image, he was going to the helicopter and it was a windy day, and the black service member was standing there at attention. His hat flew off.
Yes.
And Trump chased the man's hat down, tried to put it on his head, and it fell off again. And the I guess the general that was with him said, "Sir, just let it go." Mm-hmm. And he was going to chase it down again, and just keep grabbing the hat to put it back on the server's head. That's That's Donald Trump.
Exactly. Uh, I thought the absolute arrogance of a person was esteemed tonight when Kamala Harris, the probably the worst AG, forgive me, in the history of California, labored
Right.
herself as the model for American justice.
Yeah.
I,
Oh my goodness.
is,
Oh my goodness.
is she the
she
model
she
of
is
American justice?
she's responsible for locking up thousands of folks, and not just criminals. She has literally not allowed for proven innocent people to be let out of prison, black, Hispanic, whatever. I mean, she was horrible as a prosecutor, and she is definitely not the model. She we should use her case studies to say this is what you should not do as a prosecutor.
That's what exactly. Joe Biden, however, she basically endorses, even though he called blacks predators, and
Yes.
in addition to that, passed a crimes bill that locked up more blacks and Hispanics than any time in American history. Your thoughts, sir?
That's correct. That's correct. And Trump's First Step Back and Second Chance Act reversed the Joe Biden Clinton crime bill and has released over 11,000 mostly black men from prison for nonviolent felonies. This is something I wish Pence would have brought up when she was talking about her wonderful record as a prosecutor. He said,
Exactly.
we,
And leaving people on death row who were innocent. And she
Yeah.
knew that they
Yeah.
were innocent. Crazy.
yeah.
Absolutely
And
crazy.
she said, I am not going to let him talk
Lecture.
about my record. I'm the only one on this stage that was a prosecutor.
She's a terrible prosecutor indeed. But a model for the American justice you will have if you elect Biden and
Oh, my
Harris.
goodness.
I want to ask you, she
Yeah.
never once blamed China for the virus, but she endorses the fact that people say that Xi Jinping is the best leader in the world. As an American, how did that feel to you?
Most of what she said made me cringe and made me not feel proud to have her as a potential vice presidential even candidate, let alone VP. It's embarrassing that we've gotten to this point to where the media covers up for what she says and does, and also for what Biden says and does. Sometimes, Ken, I'm amazed that there are roughly half of America who thinks this is a good idea to even vote for her and or Joe Biden, to be to be the leaders of the free world. It just astounds me.
It astounds me as well. Listen, you're running in the congressional district number 7. You have a huge campaign. I'm going to ask you to come back next week and talk about that campaign. But what can the American people do to help you get your conservative message out in the urban regions that you're talking about?
Yes. Well, because your audience is nationwide, what they can do is something very, very simple. They can go to my Facebook page immediately, like right now, or do a split screen or something, and like my campaign page and share the information. We have some great information on our campaign page. We've got some great ads and so forth like that that we're running. We want to get more exposure to that. We did a viral video that, well, it's gotten over 70,000 views so far, but we'd love to get it to 100,000, 700,000 views.
Exactly.
So they can help us with that because that's going to give us more exposure. It's going to give us more reach out there, and it's going to translate into some donations across the nations.
Now, one of the things I want to get across to people, which I adore greatly, is you are a man of absolute faith. And
Yes.
Joe Biden was refused communion by a priest because of abortion.
Yes.
Kamala Harris
Right.
switched from being Hindu American or Indian American to being Black America, but she says she is a woman of faith. I want to ask you to explain to the American people what you believe faith is and how it should impact your political decisions.
Well, it's kind of laughable to hear her and Joe talk about how much faith they have, when they are okay with murdering babies in the womb right up until birth, even after birth, baby sitting on the table. And she's shaking her head like, we didn't sign off on it. Well, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You definitely didn't speak out about that issue. So, my faith does play a huge role in how I make decisions. I base things on life, not death.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't agree that we should be funding Planned Parenthood, but I also I'm not willing to try to pass laws to shut them down. But I don't think we should have federal funding to fund them. We should be funding life, not death. We should be funding adoption agencies, foster care, things like that. Because if we do that, most of the abortions will actually go away if we are focusing more on life than death.
Casper, we truly appreciate you. We appreciate your campaign. We want to see you do well and succeed. You're in one of the toughest races in America. And people can find you on Facebook at Casper for Colorado. Casper for Colorado. And they can also find you on the web. Am I correct?
Casper4Colorado.com is our website. We have a lot of great information there as well about our campaign. But the best thing they can do, especially for your nationwide audience right now, is just to like our page and share it. We're also on Twitter, of course, and Instagram as well, Casper4Colorado on both of those platforms. Casper,
you're going to be with us next week. We'll be talking about your campaign, Colorado, and the nation at large. Thank you for taking time out of your very hectic schedule to be with us tonight.
You're welcome. Thanks,
Casper
man. Appreciate you.
Stockham, ladies and gentlemen. Casper for Colorado. Ladies and gentlemen, as we prepare to end tonight's show, Dave Milner in the chat room has advised that Breitbart is reporting tonight not that Vice President Pence won the debate. He dominated the debate. Ladies and gentlemen, you have your winner, Vice President Pence. I'm going to tell you, in Denver, in Colorado, you guys have got to come on board with Casper Stockham. Make certain that for those of you who are in our chat roll and who are watching this video, go to his Facebook page. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of you all think it's going to take millions of dollars. You just got to pile millions of dollars into these particular urban areas that I've been showing you over the past week. Jackson, Mississippi, Dearborn, Michigan, Los Angeles, California. And it's not true. If you would get people together, $10, $20 a pop, and 10 or 20 of you all just do that and send the money, you could dramatically change the outcome of an election in urban areas. I mean, time on radio, television, and interview times, all that opens up the door for success. But the greatest thing you can do is also pray for these men and women. Casper Stockham is one of those. I want to thank my boy Dave Milner. My boy, thank you so much for being in the chat roll with us tonight, man. I enjoyed it. We were in beast mode. You should have been there. Bonnie Williams also on the slide watching. Mrs. Biggs, love you dearly. Also, Mary Brockman, I don't know if she was watching with us, but I love you, Mary Brockman. My bouncer in chief, love you dearly. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Listen, we'll be back tomorrow night. Michael Brown is supposed to be with us. Also, Dave Milner. And on Friday, I may bring on some other, as we're entering the final weeks of the election, some other politicians who are running in urban areas, so that you can send support. They need your support. They really do. And I need for you to support them. Listen, if you don't remember anything else I said tonight, I hope that you do remember this. Number one, we got a great nation. Number two, we got a great nation. Number one, God bless America. It is now time for America to bless God. Good night. God bless you. We will see you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for the Exceptional Conservative Show. Good night. God bless you.